The 9,269th meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is maintenance of peace and security of Ukraine. The representative of the Russian Federation has asked for the floor to make a statement. I give them the floor.
Mr. President, I would like to just say a few words regarding a point of order. We would like to ask you to please clarify what is the basis that you are proposing to give the floor to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine and to give them the floor before members of the Council speak. We have nothing against his statement, but the Council has its rules which were established long before Malta became president in the Security Council, became a member, rather, of the Security Council, and you, Mr. President, could at least provide me with the answer to my question. Thank you.
I take note of the points raised by the representative of the Russian Federation. This debate is being held on the one-year anniversary since the beginning of the war in Ukraine, and the presidency sees value in allowing Ukraine's foreign minister take the floor before all the other members of the Council on this occasion as per Rule 33 of Note 507. The representative of the Russian Federation has asked for the floor to make a statement. I give them the floor.
Mr. President, I would like to just warn you that the moment you put the gavel down, thus formalizing your decision, you will create an egregious precedent where representatives of Ukraine in the Council are given the kind of privilege that is denied to the representative of others. Let me just give you a specific example from recent practice. The meeting on CAR on the 21st of February this year, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of CAR, Ms. Valerie, spoke after members of the Council. On the 27th of February, we had a meeting in Mali, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of that country, Mr. Biot, also took the floor after members of the Council. On the 11th of January, we had a meeting on Colombia, and the Vice President of Colombia, and let me underscore this, not a minister, but the Vice President, Mr. Mesmino, spoke after members of the Council. On the 24th of January this year, we had a meeting on Haiti, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Dominican Republic, Mr. Alvarez Gil, took the floor after all members of the Council have spoken. And he also spoke after all Security Council meetings, members at the meeting of Haiti later on in the year. And I can continue on with the list. If we're talking about precedents, well, Mr. Kuleba took the floor on the 22nd of September 2022, and he spoke after all members of the Council. There hasn't been a single case, a single proposal from Western delegation to give the floor to a representative of African, Latin American, or any other countries other than Ukraine to give them the floor in meetings which directly affect them, that they speak before members of the Council. Can you see what your decision to provide Mr. Kuleba with a privileged right to speak at the beginning of the meeting in the eyes of the world? Once again, we have nothing against a statement that will be made by Mr. Kuleba as such, stand ready to listen to it. But this has been done strictly in line with the practice we have when the delegations under Rule 37 speak after the members of the Council. What we're witnessing today is yet another attempt to give certain rights to a group of the country, whereas you, as a representative of the Golden Billion, give preference to Ukraine. just because that she is a part of your geopolitical project. It turns out that it would seem that the problems of the rest of the world are of no concern to you. The same applies to the unprecedented number of delegations invited today under Rule 37. 12 EU countries, in addition to the High Representative Joseph Borrell. It's clear that all of these countries who have the same EU position dictated from Brussels will bring in no added value to the discussion. No added value. Such an approach devalues the value of the discussion and strikes against the reputation of the Council. Our British colleagues have already joined history as a bad faith presidents of the Council, where they rejected our request for a special emergency session of the Council, which was unprecedented. And we regret the fact that the Maltese presidency time and time again ignored the rules of procedure of the Council and thus place its own national position, the position of the EU, above its responsibility of presidency. Presidency which is supposed to make sure that the procedures are upheld and be impartial. We must acknowledge that Malta is not carrying out this task, and this confirms us in our opinion that there is no added value to expand the Council with Western countries, because you are turning the Council into your own instrument. I thank you.
Once again, I take note of the points raised by the representative of the Russian Federation. May I also remind that, for instance, the foreign minister of Serbia spoke before the Security Council members at least twice in the last two meetings on UNMIK. And with regard to the list of speakers under Rule 37, the presidency took note of the fact that all these requests came from foreign ministers who took the time to travel to New York to be at the United Nations on this anniversary. This clearly indicates that they feel that their countries have been and are still being directly impacted by this war. The agenda is adopted. I would like to warmly welcome the Secretary General and the distinguished ministers and other high-level representatives. Your presence today underscores the importance of the subject matter under discussion. In accordance with Rule 37 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite the representatives of Croatia, Czech, Estonia, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Netherlands, North Macedonia, Poland, Republic of Moldova, Romania, Slovakia, Spain, and Ukraine to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. In accordance with Rule 39 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite His Excellency Mr. Josep Borrell, High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. The Security Council will now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. And I now give the floor to the Secretary General, His Excellency Mr. Antonio Guterres.
Mr. President, Excellencies, the purposes and principles embedded in the United Nations Charter are not a matter of convenience. They are not merely words on paper. They are at the core of who we are, and they reflect the driving mission of our United Nations. And they exist precisely to address any grievance, whatever it may be.